Um, Minudi, Madan Adbut Prabhu, are we still reading Brahma Samhita?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Usually we take like a portion and we repeat it for the whole week.
Yeah.
But I think we concluded the Brahma Samhita yesterday. So we can start with any morning prayer, some Sardava, or I would think Vibhavari Shisha, or any prayer of your choice. We can continue that till Sunday,
Yeah.
and then Monday we'll start another prayer and read it for the
Yeah.
whole week.
Now, why don't we repeat the Brahma Samhita again? Let's do that
Sure,
because we only
Prabhuji.
read it once, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So
Thank you.
that way it'll be good. So I will share the link here. We'll start it again from the beginning, and I'll also share my screen. Would anybody like to sing?
Hare Krishna. I would love to sing.
Yeah.
Unless anyone else wants to sing today. Okay. ईश्वर परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंद सर्वकारण कारणम चिन्तामणि प्रकर सद्मकल्पवृक्ष लक्षावृतेषु सुरभियभिपालयन्तम् लक्ष्मीसहस्रशतसम्भ्रमसेव्यमानम् गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि वेणुं क्वान्तम् अरविन्ददलायताक्षम् बर्हावतं समसितं बुधसुन्दरङ्गम् कन्दर्पकोटिकमनीयविशेषशोभम् गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आलोलचन्द्रकलसद्वनमाल्यवंशी रत्नाङ्गदं प्रणयकेलिकालविलासम् श्यामं त्रिभङ्गललितं नियतप्रकाशम् गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अङ्गानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रियवृत्तिमान्ति पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ति आनन्दचिन्मय सद् उज्ज्वलविग्रहस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अद्वैतमच्युतमनादिमनन्तरूपम् आद्यं पुराणपुरुषं नवयौवनं च वेदेषु दुर्लभमदुर्लभमात्मभक्तौ गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि पन्थास्तु कोटिशतवत्सरसम्प्रगम्यो वायोरथापि मनसो मुनिपुङ्गवानां सोऽपि यत्प्रपदासिन्यचिन्त्य तत्त्वे गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि एकोऽपि रचयितुं जगदण्डकोटिं यच्छक्तिरस्ति जगदण्डछाययद अन्त अण्डान्तरस्थपरमाणुछायन्तरस्थं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यद्भावभावितधियो मनुजस्तथैव सम्प्रायरूपमहिमा शनयानभूष शुक्तेर्यमेव निगमा प्रतितास्तुवन्ति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आनन्दचिन्मयरसप्रतिभाविताभिस्ताभिर्य एव निजरूपतया कलाभिः गोलोक एव निवसति अखिलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि श्री श्री ब्रह्म संहिता की जय
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Anandani.
Thank you.
Would anybody like to read the translations?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I can read.
Yes, please go ahead.
Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all things. Enlightened by the recollection of that Gayatri, embodying the three Vedas, Brahma became acquainted with the expanse of the ocean of truth. Then he worshipped Sri Krishna, the essence of all Vedas, with this hymn. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor, who is tending the cows, yielding all desire in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is apt in playing on his flute with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head bedecked with peacock's feather, with a figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, round whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers, beautified with moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always reveals in pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold bending form of Shama Sundar is eternally manifest. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas, but obtainable by pure, unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning, the eternal Purusha, yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to prayanam by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane extended over thousands of millions of years. He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor. Therefore, in his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe at one and at the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore. I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra suktas told by the Vedas by gaining their appropriate beauty, greatness, thorns, conveniences, and ornaments. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, embodying his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the static potency possessed by the 64 artistic activities in the company of her confidants, Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily forms, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much. Would you like to comment on any of the verses that you read today?
They were all really beautiful, Prabhu. I was thinking that our Lord Govinda is, is most revered. He is the primeval Lord. There is no beginning and end. Yet, in the Vrajabhav in Vrindavan, he is, just as an ordinary child or an ordinary lover, plays such beautiful pastimes. So that was my, the reflection while I was reading the prayers. Thank you, Prabhu.
So wonderful. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing. These are such beautiful prayers that they transport us to Goloka, and they are so good in terms of meditating on while we are chanting japa. Yes, thank you so much for sharing. So we'll continue with our reading of Leelamrit. We are on chapter 52. Yesterday we saw that how Srila Prabhupada teaches us at every moment by his own example. He showed us how we should pray to Krishna, that he told his disciples that pray to Krishna, that if Krishna desires, then he can extend Srila Prabhupada's life, and if Krishna desires, he can take him away. He also encouraged the devotees that they were all Vaishnavas, and how he said that he had a dream that white men with shaven head came as Vishnudutas to take him. And he also said that, when one of the disciples said that any one Vaishnava can actually transform the whole world, and Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj said, Srila Prabhupada, you are that Vaishnava. And Prabhupada actually said, you all can become one. Just try. And he said, just follow, don't imitate. So even towards the end of his life, at every moment, Srila Prabhupada's every word was so instructional. So we'll continue our reading. Is this the right place where we have to continue? I think this is what Jai Hari Prabhu had given me. So we can start here. Would anybody like to read today?
I can read, Prabhu. No one else would like to read.
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
That is the real good news, said Prabhupada, and he listened with full attention as Tamal Krishna read the BBT newsletter. He was pleased and absorbed, sometimes shaking his head and smiling to hear the achievements of his disciples. Then he heard a long letter from Ghanshyam about his triumphant book distribution in Eastern Europe. When he heard a letter from Tulsi Das, who was developing a Krishna-conscious farm community in South Africa, he commented, "This letter makes my chest swell, that I have such disciples performing such activities." In another letter, a devotee wrote a prayer stating that all his god brothers were praying for Prabhupada, and he hoped that Krishna would respond. "Surely," said Prabhupada, "I am practically living on your prayers. I haven't eaten in the last 6 months, so I must be simply living on your prayers." And hearing in a letter from South America that devotees were praying for him, he said, "I think I will have to stay. Krishna is very kind. He is Bhaktavatsal. So many devotees are praying. It cannot be frustrated. I think this is why I am feeling inspiration to go out. In this condition, anyone else would prepare for death, but I am going on a tour. I don't think of it as a sentiment. Krishna is actually present as the Krishna consciousness movement. I am not without Vrindavan wherever I go to our temples." Panchadravida Swami wrote that he would exchange his youth for Srila Prabhupada's old age. "We are the same age," said Srila Prabhupada. "The body has nothing to do..." Sorry.
I'm sorry. Here. It's right here.
"The body has nothing to do with the Atma in the Vaikuntha world. We are the same age, new life, new boys, Navyovan. The outward test does not affect one. As a result, as a further reply to Panchadravida, Prabhupada dictated, "May Krishna give you long life and preach Krishna consciousness. You are our future hope." For the devotees who had not been with Prabhupada in months, it was like old times, sitting with him and hearing him answer letters and give advice for becoming victorious in Krishna consciousness. Hearing him discourse made everything all right. But as they were leaving his room, he said softly, "These are my last days." When Tamal Krishna got an especially dynamic report from Hamsaduta Swami in Sri Lanka, he decided to bring it to Srila Prabhupada early in the morning. Prabhupada had just finished his bath and was sitting upstairs on the balcony just before his 93rd darshan in the temple. 9:30 darshan in the temple. He wore a tulsi garland from Krishna Balram as well as a fresh flower garland. He reclined on a round bolster pillow and listened. Hansaduta's letter contained news of a debate he was having with a famous atheist in Colombo, a Dr. Kovur. As soon as Tamal Krishna began to read the letter, however, Prabhupada asked to hear Dr. Kavur's response. Tamal Krishna then began reading from a news clipping enclosed in the letter. Das and Swami asked whether scientists can make a chicken to come out of a plastic egg. Tamal Krishna read, I do not know whether they are aware that scientists have made over 10 elements such as fermium, plutonium, einsteinium. Prabhupada interrupted, Rascal, you are simply producing empty sound. Where is the chicken, Rascal? The chicken, the hen, is better than the scientist. She has produced another egg within a week. You simply say this and that, this and that, this and that, that's all. What's your value? We don't give you any value. You're less important than the chicken. Tamal Krishna resumed reading. We have created over 10 elements that even God, again Prabhupada interrupted, who cares for your creation? Without your creation, the egg is there. No, he says. Tamal Krishna went back to reading the text. Even God could not create them because he did not know the technology involved in making them. God kicks on your mouth, said Prabhupada. He doesn't require to take your creation. Without your creation, he can do everything. God kicks on your mouth with shoes. Talkative nonsense? Tell him like that. I'm sure Hamsaduta did, said Tamal Krishna. Next, we'll read his reply. Anyway, the scientist goes on. Are these two men aware of the success of Sri Lanka scientist Dr. Prabhupada? Who cares of his scientist? The Nobel Prize winner in the synthesizing amino acids? Nobel Prize winner? Scoffed Srila Prabhupada. Another rascal has given him a Nobel Prize. He's a rascal, and another rascal has given. Suri Sakshi Matala. In a liquor house, the witness is a drunkard. If there is an incident within the liquor shop and the proprietor of the liquor shop has brought some witnesses, but all of them are drunkards, what's the value of that? As soon as you are a drunkard, immediately you are rejected. Tamal Krishna read on, and Prabhupada continued to interrupt him at almost every sentence. The devotees had not seen Prabhupada so fiery in weeks. When Tamal Krishna read Hansaduta's reply, Prabhupada was pleased to see how many of the same points his disciple had made. He's putting very strong arguments, said Prabhupada. This is preaching. Two factors were making Srila Prabhupada indecisive about going west. One was the worldly formalities of the passport and US residency card, and the other was Srila Prabhupada's personal hesitancy based on the reports from the astrologer. His health was, of course, the main factor, but at times he seemed ready to disregard everything and order his servants to somehow take him to London. Already he had sent Abhiram to Calcutta to deal with certain complications. His US residency green card had expired, and the consulate in Delhi had insisted that he come for an interview. Meanwhile, Prabhupada's passport and a temporary visa were being readied and would take 4 or 5 days. One of the Ayurvedic doctors who sometimes visited told Prabhupada he should wait a week or so. But Prabhupada found simply working up the will of travel and then not going and then deciding again to go was exhausting. On hearing the latest news that the US consulate insisted on an interview, which seemed to be a physical impossibility, he couldn't rest. Lying on the bed for hours, he finally called Tamal Krishna and said, I want to go. Can you arrange to carry me? Somehow or other, take me. Here I don't expect any good. Psychological enthusiasm is there. Don't be afraid. I'm not afraid. Either to die in the temple here or there. It is all Vaikuntha. Tamal Krishna asked to first discuss this with a few of the GBC men who were present. But when the devotees came into Prabhupada's room that afternoon, Prabhupada said, No discussions. I've made up my mind. Arrange immediately for going. But again, there were complications. The doctor asked Srila Prabhupada to wait another week, and Prabhupada also did not want to leave India without his green card for the US. He sent Balwanta to Calcutta to try and get the green card. With so many matters unsettled, Prabhupada remained undecided whether to go to England now or wait. I plan to stay in America, Srila Prabhupada said. I will not come back until I complete the Bhagavatam. I want to organize there. The American boys are so nice. If I make everything strong, then the movement will endure. Let us go now. The doctor will say 4 days for the medicine to act, then wait a little longer. This is their method. Finally, a report came from Abhiram in Calcutta that the passport had been secured and the American consulate in Calcutta would help in getting the green card. Tamal Krishna ran upstairs and told Srila Prabhupada, "There is very good news." Srila Prabhupada was lying down in the bed. But when he heard that the news, he began to slowly clap his hands, saying, "Give me good news and keep me alive." He began to think ahead to London. "The Radha Krishna deities there are so nice," he said. "Radha Landanishwara. An innocent boy he is." Tamal Krishna reminded Srila Prabhupada how they had obtained those deities. "Yes," said Srila Prabhupada, "it was unexpected. I was in the hopeless condition, but Krishna said, 'Here I am, take me.'" Srila Prabhupada thought of the Bhaktivedanta manor. "That lawn before my room is magnificent," he said. "I think good time is coming. Madhudvisha has come, and Gaurasundara has come. Lost child has come. These are good beings, good signs. As he spoke on, his voice, which had sounded at first small and weak, grew in strength. "Mistake there may be," he said, referring to the fall of some of his disciples, "but it can be rectified. At the time, be very careful not to commit mistakes. Krishna never forgets a person who does a little service." "You also never forget, Prabhupada," said Tamal Krishna. "How can I forget? You have all helped me to execute the mission of Lord Chaitanya and my Guru Maharaj. I always pray to Krishna to give you strength. I am insignificant. I cannot do anything, but I pray to Krishna to give you strength." Prabhupada recalled how, after installing the deities in Australia, he had thought, "These Malechas and Yavanas, what will they do with the deity?" Then the next time he went there, he saw they were worshipping nicely. "Try to do everything nicely," he said, "and Krishna will help. Whatever I have done has been done on this principle. Whatever my Guru Maharaj taught me, I tried to the best of my capacity to carry out." Srila Prabhupada spoke on, carried by waves of transcendental emotion and carrying his loving disciples with him. "When I go to America," he said, "especially Los Angeles and New York, I feel at home." At the mention of New York, he began to remember his first days there. "I was like a street boy," he said. "I was going here and there, sightseeing. I was in New York City. But one morning I saw all the walls were white. How have they become white? Who has whitewashed them?" I thought. I went downstairs and there was so much snow. I went with an umbrella and purchased a pack of milk in the snow. At that time I was living in a dungeon. It was always dark, but I didn't care. Whatever difficulty, I didn't care. I only wanted to preach. Sometimes people would touch me like men on the Bowery, but no one was inimical. Everyone was friendly, even the bums. When I went to enter my New York building, the bums would get up from where they were lying down and let me pass by. I couldn't understand the difference between friends and enemies. Prabhupada said a friend of his has been shocked to hear that he was moving to Bowery. "Oh, Swamiji," his friend had said, "you have gone to Bowery Street? It is a horrible place." "I passed through many dangers," continued Prabhupada, "yet I couldn't understand that. Here is danger everywhere, I thought. This is my home." Srila Prabhupada recalled random details of his first preaching endeavors at 26 Second Avenue. "I was working very hard," he said, "lecturing at 7 in the morning and 7 in the evening, cooking and distributing prasadam to anyone who was coming. Do you remember Satswarupa? You would bring some mango and fruit. Daily you would come. Those days are past. Now I feel happiness remembering those days, remembering that boy Strayadisha. He would eat so many chapatis, he would never have enough. Every time he wanted more, I would give him 4 chapatis at a time. Kirtananda, Achyutananda, 75 people would attend that Sunday feast." Do we need to stop, Prabhu?
Yeah, I think we can stop here. Wonderful reading. Thank you, Anandani. Would you like to share some of your thoughts?
Um, Yes, it is indeed a wonderful reading and recollection by Srila Prabhupada, his journey of how he started from Bowery Street. I always mesmerize Bowery to Vraj. Prabhupada preached everywhere, and that is his mercy. And at the last days, he's saying that one thing he said was, I only pray and Krishna does the rest. And thinking about it in the hindsight, it is so true. Only because of Prabhupada's prayers did this movement carry on in so much of fervor with disciples of that level who did not even know Krishna to begin with. So, that was Prabhupada's potency, Prabhupada's prayers. It is just like, how I feel when Krishna was on Arjuna's chariot, Arjuna could do everything. And as soon as Krishna left, the chariot got destroyed, and Arjuna even lost from some villagers who were trying to, kidnap Krishna's wives of Dwarka. So, just like that. So, but Prabhupada is so strong with Krishna's mercy that this movement keeps going, and hopefully the golden years for 10,000 years will see more and more of Krishna consciousness spreading in the entire world. So just praying for Prabhupada's mercy and us as a little squirrel trying to do our part, whatever we can in this lifetime.
Jai.
Thank you.
Jai, wonderful reading. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Anybody else would like to share their thoughts, reflections, add anything?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Anandini, Gopika Mataji, Adhikar Prabhu, all the devotees. Yeah, I was thinking Prabhupada was saying yesterday and today, how yesterday he was encouraging, or last week, I think, as we've been reading, he's been encouraging his Grihastha devotees, and how he could see the future, right? He wanted all these devotees. He said, don't leave us, even though you can become a Grihastha. So that is so inspiration for all of us, that at that time, in the beginning, he had mostly brahmacharis and sannyasis as his disciples, but he could see how this movement would shape up in the future. And today we see the canvas has flipped, right? It's mostly Grihastha devotees who are leading the movement forward. I mean, there are so many wonderful sannyasis and brahmacharis who are guiding us, no doubt. But the bulk of the movement has transformed in terms of the ratio. And Prabhupada was saying that he was calling yesterday everybody. He was saying I feel like a vital force seeing all of you. So like that, I'm sure he'll be so happy and pleased that all the devotees of this movement are taking his instructions to heart. And today he's sitting and remembering all these things. I'm just waiting for that day when we will be with Srila Prabhupada, and he would be talking to us like this in smiling face, remembering everything that he has done and everything that we have done for him. Of course, we can only do like a grain of sand. What Prabhupada has done is incredible. You cannot match him. Like you started saying that just follow, do not imitate. So that should be our mood. But once we are all with Srila Prabhupada, how much happy he would be, just like he is now, remembering those days, old days. So like that. So yeah, those are some thoughts coming to my mind. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So nice to hear from you. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Anybody else would like to share anything?
Hare Krishna. We are missing Madan Adbut Prabhu. Madan Adbut Prabhu, so nice to hear your voice. I'm hoping we can again get back to you leading us in this morning program. Hopefully very soon. So praying for your speedy recovery. Hope you're keeping well and eating Meenakshi Mohini Mataji strong, nice, beautiful, lovely prasad.
Yes. Prashadam and prayers, like you're saying. From Bhavri to Braj, like that. Prashadam and prayers and are sustaining me and it's all of your association, all the prayers, of course. Like Prabhupada said, your prayers are keeping. So that is all true. Like whatever Prabhupada said, we said everything is so true that he was sustaining just on prayers. So like that, I also feel that it's been really the prayers of all the devotees, all the Vaishnavas, and thank you so much, Mataji. I'm hoping slowly. Yesterday the tube was removed, so it's a little more comfortable now to walk and talk. Still, I'm trying to keep talking to limited, so that way hopefully the stitches can heal quicker. But hopefully by next week I should be at least 60-70% back.
Jai, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for your reflections. So if nobody else has anything to add, we can close the call by doing Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantagoti Vaishnav Vrind ki Jai. Please remember there are 3 programs this weekend. There is one program in the evening today that starts at 6, I believe. And then there are programs tomorrow in the morning for Vaishnavis. Then in the evening, our regular program that has changed to like 4 p.m. now. And then on Sunday evening, there is a parent workshop. So hoping to get everyone's association. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Have a great day, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.